Everybody. This is Mark with Mark's Home Hobbies. How you guys doing today? I'm doing all right, I guess. Just working on another little hobby. I told you about this one in the last video. In case you didn't watch my last video, this is a little home brewing setup right here. And what we're going to make here is, for the first time, I had an idea. I was watching a couple of videos on YouTube about home brewing and distilling, and I won't give any shout outs just yet, not until I do my first real brew. I do have some experience with distilling liquor, and I have a still, but I won't show you that on here because it's illegal in a lot of states. Might get in trouble, whatever. Not that I really care so much, but yeah, this is kind of how I'm going to do it this time. We're shooting for more of a home brew type of a thing. Maybe some might call it a wine. I just call it good. That's all. So the candidates that we're going to use here are an old wine bottle. I still got to take the label off the other side, but I've sterilized it in the inside using some hot water and some bleach. Okay, and I've done the same with this one here. This is a regular old carboy that I bought at the brew store for brewing up mash, gallon at a time. These are three reusable 34-ounce bottles that I picked up for $1.99 each at the dollar store. So I'm going to be racking my, let's see, what do they call it, a Beaujolais or something like that. I don't know what they call apple wine, but it's something like that, some kind of name. Anyways, I'm going to be racking it into that, and for those of you that don't know what racking is, that means when you take it out of the mash container here after you brew it, and it gets to the point where you just about think you're done with it, a couple of weeks, and then you put it into these after this, and then what I've heard is the best way to keep it from popping the top afterwards is to put it directly into the refrigerator after you get it to the alcohol level that you want, which I do have a hygrometer, and I will show you the SPGR, the absolute values, all that stuff. Inquiring minds want to know about distillation. Anyways, enough about that. This is the culprits we're going to use here. This is some locally produced stuff here. Right down the street from my house they bottle this stuff. 100% juice. Now it does have some vitamin C, so it's not really too good. That's better known as ascorbic acid. So that's going to change our pH a little bit. So what we're going to do is probably adjust that pH just a little bit with probably a little bit of, I want to say baking soda. Yeah, just a little smidge in there because I can't have put too much vitamin C in there. I mean, you know, these companies are cheap nowadays, so they're not going to put too much of anything. So if anything, it's just barely enough to keep it from turning color. So I think it'll be all right after we just adjust it just a wee bit. I don't know what that'll do with the yeast, but we'll, we're just going to use regular old bread yeast on this. So I got some stuff that I've had sitting in my refrigerator that's unopened for about a year now, at least. So we're going to try that out. All this stuff that we got today, we got from the Dollar Castle in Centerline. Yeah, we got this honey right here. 6.15 or 5.15 ounces. $1.59. Polar. Real imitation honey. Anyways, it'll be good enough for what we want to use it for. This is Mark with Mark's Home Hobbies. We're back at the brewing station here, and yeah, this is all right next to the racetrack and all that. Nothing special. Just a little table with some apparatus. We have here, not in this order. We have some S-type bubblers, and they're shaped like an S. And then you fill those up with water up to the line, and that prevents air from getting in foreign materials, but also lets the CO2 gases out. On this one, I've made a special cork so that it can fit in this Gallo wine bottle, which is a little bit smaller than the standard bung cork there. I'm using this cheap honey and this cheap apple juice and these cheap racking bottles right here with the Grolsch style cork, metal cork on there. I'm using a sterilized funnel, sterilized bottles, sterilized air release, and I'm using this yeast. Quick rising. It says rises 50% faster. Our family. Yeah, it's just some cheap stuff. Yeah, we're just letting it warm up to room temperature here. And then what I'm going to do is take pretty much all that bottle and put it in this one right here. And then I'm going to take pretty much all that bottle and put it in that one. And then I'm going to proceed to add about a half a pack of yeast. I'm going to split one of those between these two. That should be good. I don't know, I might need a little bit more. This yeast is pretty old right here. I've had this in my refrigerator now for a while, so but I really don't want to have it taste too much like brew, you know, like I don't want to taste the yeast too much. I'd rather just taste the alcohol. So by adding that honey into that apple juice, that's going to raise the sugar up, and that's going to give me a higher ABV, probably around 10%, which I think would be good. Maybe 11 or something for a wine. It'd be low for a wine scale, but I don't like my liquor really, I like it a little bit smoother and a little bit tastier. And hopefully the extra sugar, if we stop it just in time, the extra sugar from the honey there will keep the taste nice and sweet. And what we're shooting for is kind of a honey crisp apple flavor. Yeah, that's it, honey crisp. I know I like to eat those kind of apples, honey crisps. Those are extremely good. So I'm hoping to end up with 3 bottles. And one of them we'll drink sooner, and one of them we'll drink a little bit later, and one of them we'll let it age for a while. See what we come up with. All told, here's maybe about $20 worth of stuff. And I figured I'd get 3 bottles of decent wine out of it. So, yeah, $7 a bottle. It's probably about what you'd pay at the store. But I'll accept you know where it was made and you know how it's going to taste. The only other thing that we need to finish this job is a good cup of coffee. So let me get this stuff into the bottles and get the yeast warmed up and get everything powered together, and I'll bring you back and show you what it's looking like in action. Yeah, so that's what it looks like when it's bubbling there and it's fermenting. And the more bubbles that you get in there, and the faster it goes, the faster the yeast is working. I figure it takes about a week to fully brew, and you can tell basically when your stuff is basically done by when it stops bubbling. It should be pretty much done at that point. So again, if you watch this far and you watch this video, hope you learned a little bit of something. If you got any questions, feel free to ask me. As always, like, subscribe, share, whatever you want to do. Give me a thumbs up, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.